Hello, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about some ways to set your future version up for success, set future you up for success. And with all of that, I think we make being consistent way harder than it needs to be. A lot of the things that help me stay on top of my life have nothing to do with motivation. I just try to make things as easy as possible for future me. So I'm gonna show you some of the things that we've started implementing to honestly just make our life easier. So we just got home from the gym. We went to like a little barbecue thing, but we just got home from the gym. So one of the things that I find makes it significantly easier to stay on top of things is to mitigate the amount of tasks that I put off and the amount of small things that I make a later problem. So by that, and I also enjoy resetting my space. So by that, there's a bunch of crap. We just got home from the gym. So there's a whole bunch of stuff sitting out. Every single one of these things is going to go back to its home. Okay? So very simple, but we have some dirty dishes in the lunchbox. And with that, I'm going to physically put every single one of these into the dishwasher. I'm going to put everything back in its home. I haven't eaten the banana yet. I'm going to eat it today, so I'm going to put it over there. Ice pack goes in the freezer. All of these will go in the dishwasher, which I will do in a second. And now that the lunchbox is empty, I could choose to leave it here on the counter and go do something else, or I can take a couple steps. It has a home. I leave it in this closet. So I take a couple steps and then I put it where it goes. Done. Rinse, repeat with each thing. That is something that is very simple. So it extends as far as like when you're meal prepping, not just leaving everything in the sink and then, oh, I'll get to it later. Just trying to like clean up after yourself as much as you can and just take those couple extra minutes, and giving things a designated home helps make a difference. Like I'm gonna go through my gym bag real quick. So I know that my camera is in here, but I also know my camera can stay in here. I don't think there's anything else that I need to take out right now. Nope. Everything is where I need it. I double checked. I'm gonna go put this in the closet, remove it from my visual space, my visual clutter, and then I'll move on to my purse. And I also got some packages delivered, so I'll probably open all of those, take care of that trash. And another thing is very simple, just taking the trash out to the trash can and not leaving it for later. I think one of the biggest things is when you tell yourself constantly, oh, I'll get to it later, I'll get to it later. Now you're piling up a whole bunch of tiny obligations that are stacking, and that's gonna take you a really long time to take care of all of it. You could just take the couple minutes and then put everything away as you go. So if you use scissors, for example, put them back where you found them. Don't just leave them sitting out on the counter. And I know this sounds simple or silly, but I fell victim to just kind of leaving stuff out and then creating a bigger mess, and then wondering why the house was always visually cluttering and why it was hard to function in the house. And with that, giving everything a home, I know I kind of mentioned that, but giving everything a home is very important as well. Like, did he already? I think his keys are in his backpack. But our keys have a very specific spot that they go. We don't leave them on the counter. We put them by the garage door. So keys go there. the medications, I'll show you. Everything is something where we can see it and it has a home. So like our meds are right here. Those are mine and those are his. Those are like our morning meds. And I have a pill container back here that I fill once a month with all my supplements. And with that, I know that there's a specific spot in the house that I eat breakfast. And it is this chair. So what is sitting over here? My supplements. What else is sitting over here? My notebook. We'll get back to the notebook because that's a different point. And all of the supplements and everything like that is down here. I don't like it on the counter, it looks messy. So it's down here. Everything is in its home. It has a place. It's really simple things like that. Just giving things a home and then putting them back in their home is another small thing that makes a huge difference. So as far as resetting your space, I don't mean you need to deep clean everything all the time. That's insane. I think it works really well whenever you get everything back to kind of like its baseline. So we have like a baseline level of cleanness. I'm putting my sunglasses back in my car. Otherwise I'll leave them on the counter and forget about them. But no, like we have a baseline level of cleanness, and it's not the level of cleanness like if we were expecting guests, for example. It's just resetting the space, putting things back in the home, taking care of that small task before it becomes a bunch of small tasks. And it really makes a difference. Another thing is your brain should not need to hold all of the information all of the time. So I mentioned my notebook. So what this is like kind of like a bullet journal that I set it up as a planner. So it has an actual like monthly calendar spread that I made in there, something weekly, and then like my mental running to-do list. So let's take a peek at it. So monthly is like an actual calendar. And then weekly, what I do, that's really chaotic. That's how it works for my brain though. So how my brain sets it up is we have 4 days that we're off. So I take each one of those days, and before the week even starts, we just kind of write down the things that we know are important to take care of that day. And John is currently taking care of his brain dumping at the moment. But having an outlet or somewhere to be able to write down your thoughts and finding a system that works for you is going to set you up for a lot of success. You don't want to hold all of that information in your brain and potentially forget something. I mean, we also use like calendars on our phone for tracking stuff. I think most people probably do. But it all is about finding a system that works for you. Another thing that has to do kind of with your environment is making good choices a little bit more convenient and visible. So if you want to drink more water, keep a water bottle nearby, fill it up. If you want to remember to eat the fruit and stuff that you bought and you don't want it to go bad, keep it somewhere where you can physically see it. If you want to actually use your walking pad, if you have one, keep it set up somewhere where you can see it. Keep your shoes on it. It's all about creating an environment where making good choices is easy. And by good choices, I mean choices aligned with your goals. Okay? The good choice is going to look different for everybody. There's no one size fits all, but it is about making your environment connect with your goals. And that works in the reverse also, where if you're trying to avoid eating a bunch of processed food because that's part of your goal, not buying it, and if you do have it in your house because you have kids or something, keeping it higher up or keeping it somewhere else, maybe at kid eye level and not your eye level, or keeping little notes on it just saying like this is for the kids. It's whatever works for you to make your environment help you reach your goals. Because the goal is to remove the amount of decision fatigue that you accumulate on a day-to-day basis and just make it easier to stick to what you're trying to do. You're trying to set future you up for success. So sometimes current version of you has to take a couple extra steps to help future you get there. Another thing is deciding what you are going to eat before you even leave the house. So with that, I mean a couple things. One, have an actual grocery list when you're going to the grocery store. I've learned a lot about how grocery stores are set up, and I didn't realize they were all set up pretty much the same, with the fresh stuff being on the outside, which makes sense when you think about it because that's where the freezers and stuff are, or I guess like fridges, but the meats and all that less processed stuff is against the wall, and the more processed things are in the aisles in the middle because they're shelf stable, so they don't need to stay refrigerated. So it's really easy to just start walking up and down aisles and grab something because it looks good. And grabbing that thing might not be something you would have done if you had a plan going in there. Now, I don't think food is inherently good or bad, but I do think that making too many choices not aligned with your goals is going to be problematic because it's going to keep you from actually reaching the goal that you want to reach. So having an actual grocery list, going to the grocery store makes a huge difference. It removes some of that decision fatigue, helps set you up for success. And the best way to create a grocery list is to figure out what you're eating for the week. And that doesn't mean you have to eat the exact same thing every single day. I do because I love it. I build with my macros, I build my breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the whole week, and I keep those 3 core meals the same. It removes so much thinking. I keep those the exact same, and then the snacks I can make fit my day and fit in my macros however. But I know exactly what meats, vegetables, carbs I need to get at the grocery store, and then that still gives me the option if I want to go play in the fun aisles with the junk food. I could go find something that then as a snack I could make fit my week. But that does help remove a lot of decision fatigue of just having what you want to eat. That's going to help you get to your goals. Having that decided before you even leave the house. And that also helps you figure out what you're going to eat before you get hungry. Because I think we all know when you get hungry, it's really easy to make choices that are not aligned with your goals. Bad choices. It's really easy to get fast food because it's quick and convenient. But if you've already prepped a meal and you know that that's your plan to eat it, it's a lot easier to make that choice because past you chose to meal prep that. Now current you gets to choose to eat the food that you prepared. It just one more layer to make it a little bit easier. And my absolute favorite one is getting everything ready the night before. This is one of my favorite things to do. And if you go look at my Instagram, I actually have a post from today that you'll be able to see of the stuff that we set out at night for the night before to make the morning decision easier. So the day is going to look different for everybody. If you work a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, you may decide to go to the gym before, you may decide to go after. Regardless, having everything ready that you are going to need in the morning instead of trying to run around and figure it out is going to make a huge difference. So having your food ready, having your gym clothes ready, having any of your supplements ready, your pre-workout, which goes with food, but having everything already visible and set up. So then in the morning, all you have to do is pick up your stuff and go. You don't have to try and figure out what you're gonna wear, what you're gonna eat, and you're not running out of time trying to make all of these decisions when you're just freshly waking up. I don't know about you, but when I wake up, I don't like thinking for a while. So with us, we go to the gym in the morning on the days that we're off work. So we just put everything out, and then we get up, get ready, have breakfast, and then we're able to just kind of grab our stuff and go. And I think if we didn't do that, it would be really easy some days to just be like, hey, don't really want to. But having everything ready, it's a visual reminder of like, last night I promised myself that I was going to do this today. Now today, all I have to do is get the stuff and go. It is removing another layer of decision fatigue. And I think that decision fatigue is one of the bigger things that makes staying disciplined hard. Because when you don't already have your plan going into something, it is so easy to change what you thought you were going to do. And discipline doesn't necessarily mean constantly forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do. Discipline is setting your life up so you don't have to constantly fight yourself to make the decision you actually want to make. And lastly, having a minimum version of what you will do on a bad day. This is something I talk about with our clients, where it's like, okay, we're on this call right now and you're feeling really motivated. You're feeling all of the things. Well, motivation is going to fade. What is the minimum version of what you are willing to do that you will be proud of yourself for? So I love the expression, you can suck, but you can't skip. I love that. So if you're planning on going to the gym and you have a really crappy night of sleep, you've got, life, you're not supposed to try and be perfect all of the time, but you made the commitment to yourself that you are going to be in some capacity physically active. So you have two choices when that kind of situation happens. One, you can choose to just not do it, and then you're going to be really frustrated with yourself that you didn't do it because you promised yourself that you would. We all know how that feels. It sucks. Or you can say, hey, I'm going to stretch. I'm going to go for a gentle walk. I'm going to do something else that I had already decided would be my backup plan, and you are still being successful. You have still set yourself up for success because you had that minimum version of you determined before it happened. Or you go to the gym, you do what you can. Like, let's say you have 4 leg presses planned and you wanted to try and do 10 reps. If you drop the weight and you still get 10 reps, but you do 3 sets, you still did it. You still did the thing you said you were going to do. You still did the workout. So that's why having that minimum is a really cool thing. If you're planning on having this like super elaborate dinner, but then you physically run out of time, or life happens, throw a couple things together that you can digest well, that make you feel good, that when you eat them it is aligned with your goals. Then you just throw that together and you eat that, and you're still doing the thing. Because success shouldn't require perfect conditions. So to kind of wrap it all up, being successful with what you want to do really just comes from trying to make the thing that's going to help you reach your goals the easiest option. You don't want to have to think too hard to make the choice to do what you're trying to do. So these are just some tips on ways to make it a little bit easier, remove some of that decision fatigue. I've probably said that 50 times. I don't care. I hope you at least take away maybe 1 point from this. If you take away more, that's awesome. But if you guys liked this, let me know. I would love to make more kind of stuff like this. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and don't forget, you were built to rise.